This is the day that the Lord hath made. I shall rejoice, I shall sing, and be glad in it. I am so super excited to be with you today, for this is the day that the Lord hath made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. And I trust that you're doing well. I trust that you're enjoying this season of the year and moving forward with your life and hopefully living your best life. So today we want to talk. We've been doing the year in review, and today we want to do a little emotional checkup. Um, I know since the COVID 2020 and that whole COVID's not gone completely, but since that season has been upon us, we realize where we are mental health wise, where we are. Some people wanted to acknowledge it and get help because I know several friends of mine who have now established as therapist practices and have really taken that on. And I am pleased and over the top excited that a lot of these practices are African American men and women run. So I'm thrilled about that and super excited. So I want to talk a little bit about the emotional checkup because sometimes, we do our own health checkups. We do our annual screenings and all that good stuff, which is always wonderful. And so, just as a sidebar, if you haven't done that, if you haven't scheduled that, be sure and do so. The more you know, and the earlier detection, the better it is. And I'm going to leave that right there because I know your health professionals have been reaching out to you. You haven't had your annual checkup this year and you're avoiding it, but don't avoid it. Your health is your wealth, I promise you. But secondly, your mental health is associated with your wealth. So, just kind of a subtopic is he knows how it feels. He does. Because Hebrews 4 and 15 says, "For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities." So he knows all about it. But was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. Now I know you're saying, yeah, but it was Jesus. Yeah, but he was all God and all man. Yeah, but that man part of him and that God part of him was all tempted. It says in all points. So no matter what you're going through, he's been tempted in all points, yet without sin. Now, those things are for our example. The human part of us, that's to let us know, okay, if Jesus did it, I could too. Now, I'm not Jesus and you are not either, but knowing that we have this same power that was in Jesus is also resides with us, and our communication and connection with the Heavenly Father enables us to move through this life with all the things that we have to face and be victorious. I'm believing that. I'm standing on that word. But he knows exactly how he feels, how we feel, how I feel, how it feels. He knows about it. And it's not like we have a high priest, a king, and the king of kings who is not acknowledging what we're actually going through. Now, some of it is for a process. Some of it, let's just be honest, it's our own doing. This one today, when we talk today, it might stump on your toes, but first off, we can't fix what we don't face. So we first off have to acknowledge it. What is the thing? What is the trigger? When somebody says what, does it send us to the left? And then we have to go home early from a job, or we may get fired. And every time I do that, and every time they say that, and every time we got to get that under control. But you first have to acknowledge it. You have to understand I have a problem. We can't fix it. I've known people who, know they have an issue if I call them out on it, or if I say something, yeah, I know it, but that's just who I am. Well, but it's hindering you. It's stopping you. You're stopping you. It's not like anybody else can really stop you or hinder you, but you. In the world in which we live in now, there's pretty much, not many people and not many situations where they can actually physically stop you from doing something. Some countries there may be, but especially if you enjoy the freedoms in this country, in the US, you pretty much do, even good or bad, but you can pretty much do what you set your mind to do. Even if it may be, outside the group, outside the network, outside the quote unquote clique, but you can get it done. It may be not the easiest way, it may be not the most straightforward way, but it can get done. So you got to acknowledge it. Some things are not the people, not outside. Some things are you. And some things are stopping you. And when you have multiple situations and there was, oh, they did and they did. No, you have to acknowledge the part that you played in it. So sometimes the year end, the day end, the month end, the weekend, we have to look at it and say, I didn't do so good. Why did I go off on that? Why did that take me somewhere so far to the left? Then you have to hopefully say sorry. You got to wait for the person to accept your apology, and then and hopefully you won't do it again. But I promise you, the enemy is going to come up with that same situation again. And the Lord's going to test you on it too, to see, are you over it or are you still doing it? Because it's slowing you down. He can't take you to the next until you get over this hurdle, until you have victory. Now, there's always going to be setbacks, but until you get victory over that and realize, oh, hold on. I've seen this before. Oh. There's a rerun of this movie. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, can't go down that road. Nope, can't say that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, I need to ask more questions. Nope, I need to find out more information. Oh, I might need references. There's a lot of things that need to happen. But first off, you got to acknowledge them. I didn't ask enough questions. I didn't follow through. You got to see what part you played. And even if you did a long list and did all those things, you still have to acknowledge, maybe I should have done. So you have to acknowledge, number one. And then number two, you have to know yourself and own it. You have to know yourself and own it. Yeah. As growing up, and even now, I'm very conversational, but I'm not very confrontational. I don't enjoy it at all. It is one of those things that, but there are some times when it's something that's important and vital to me, I have to pray first off and ask God, how do I address it? And when is the right time? And what are the right words to say? Because I have to address it. It's a part of my brand. It's something of my business. There's my family member that's at stake. There's something that's very, very important that is forcing me and driving me to say something. But it has to be appropriate. It has to be delivered in the right way. And I want to say the right words, and I want to say the right thing. And I don't want to be in anger. And I don't want to be all frustrated. And, and some people are like, oh, girl, I just said it out. No, I have to think about it. I have to process it a little bit more and mull it over. My husband will tell you, and fuss and vent. And then I pray about it. And then God gives it to me. But I have to know myself. I know myself, and I own it. I own it. I own it that sometimes I get in my feelings. I own it that I may need to call up someone and say, talk me down off this roof. I know myself. And, it's best to know you, because you can save yourself from a lot of heartache and a lot of stress and a lot of pain and agony if you really honestly know yourself. No, I can't be with them. I love them. I mean, as God requires, but I can't do that. I can't be there. I can't. No, because I know me. I know me. So know yourself and own it. So you got to acknowledge it first. And acknowledging there's an issue. And to some people, that might not be no big deal. But to you, it's a huge thing because you know yourself and you're willing to own it. And then number 3, your emotions unchecked can change the course of your life. Now, I know gifts and callings come without repentance. God has gifted you and he's called you. But can he trust you in certain situations? Because you'll always fly off the handle, or you'll be like Peter and always get a knife and be cutting off the ear, and you'll be cutting off the nose to spite the face. Whereas the person was different from you, looked different, talked different, but that was your help. And you cut off your help. You cut off the person that God sent with the answer, and you cut them off, or you cut them, or you made them so angry they took the answer and went on back, and now you stuck. Nobody will help me. No, it wasn't them. It was you, boo. Your emotions unchecked can change the course of your life. I got in my feelings one time. It happens. I don't necessarily promote it all over social media. Julia Royston got in her feelings because of A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. Nope. And I got in my feelings one time. And God said, don't let your emotions mess up your money. Ouch. Ouch. He said, you got that contract? What you doing with it? You just gonna be mad and fuss, but you're not gonna do nothing about it? You're not gonna enforce it? You're not gonna call your lawyer and enforce? Because I was over there and whining and crying and in my feelings, but he said your emotions unchecked can change the course of your life. Your emotions can mess up your money. Somebody else, that might be for somebody else too. I'm on my part because I can't let my emotions be unchecked. I eventually have to have enough and stop it. I eventually, have to get a therapist of my own if necessary. Right now, I have outlets of multiplicity of ways God is bringing phenomenal people in my life and in my path. And it's a wonderful thing, but I can't have my emotions running amok. I can't let them run wild because there's a lot more at stake. Sometimes it's a test. I had a situation not too long ago. It was very, very public and very, very, the situation was very, very public and very, very obvious. And my brain is running a mile a minute. And if you know me personally, my face tells what's going on. I'm excited. Yay! Hi! Hello! Hi! And there was something that's gotten going right. I get a dip on my forehead. And I was like, but you can't let them see you sweat. My dad taught me that. You can't. So I had to get my face together and put a smile on it, even though I was like, no, inside. Because I couldn't vent. I couldn't go off because I was on the stage. The spotlight was on me. So what was I going to do? It was a true test. And after it was over, I was devastated. Devastated. God said, you passed. I said, pass what? That was awful. God, that was terrible. Why did you let that happen? That was terrible. He said, no, you passed. He said, because, it could have gone all different kinds of ways. He said, but you passed. I was like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go through that again. But I had to get my emotions. I had to talk to myself. Encourage, not only just encourage myself, I had to talk myself through this. You can get through this. You can. That self-talk is powerful stuff. But your emotions unchecked can change the course of your life. I've had many situations such as that where I couldn't get revenge. God's like, you can't get no revenge. You got to sit there and take it and be dumped on and be talked to crazy and endure hardness. It tells you hardness is a good soldier. I was like, I got to do what? I can't defend myself. I can't talk back. Got to sit there and take it. And then when it's over, he said, I passed. I felt like an inch tall. It was awful. I'm being transparent. But if my emotions unchecked, if I had let my emotions run wild, as they say, and run amok, it could have been a reflection on everything. The people connected to me, my business, my personal reputation, my personal brand. And bad runs wild, like wildfire. You can't slow it down if you wanted to. It just moves. And girl, did you hear? And girl, did you see? And girl, and there's no way to defend it. And people are always videoing everywhere you go. So you just stuck. I mean, there it is. And it's viral. So I'm like, no, I know how that is. I know what that is. So I have to take it. I have to suffer it. So your emotions unchecked can change the course of your life. It's not that you're not going to go to heaven. It's not that you're not going to eventually get to where God purpose and destiny for your life. It's not that. No, because nobody can stop that except you. But you can slow down the process. You can delay the destination. You can, as the children of Israel, go around that mountain 40 years, stay in the wilderness when you should have been in the promised land. You should have been wrote that book. You should have been had that business done. You should have been had that promotion. You should have been had that. But you let your emotions run amok. You let them run wild, unchecked, unbridled. It's like, having a horse that's unbridled. It just runs wild. Can't get to the finish line. It's doing its own thing. And your emotions run amok or unchecked or not check your own self into a therapist or check your own self into a friend who's going to tell you the truth, or check your own self to one of the mothers in your churches that plays no games and will tell you the honest truth straight up, or someone you trust. Because otherwise, it could completely change the course of your life. You'll have to go around Marbury Bush, all these detours, because you won't stop being so angry and you're biting off people's head and go into a job and cuss them out. And are you serious? You can't be trusted with leadership. You can't be trusted with the end result of what God wants to do with you. You have gifts. You have talent. Oh, no, you're intellectual. Oh, you're educated. Oh, you've been to school. You could get that degree, but you keep cussing out the professors and leaving, and they get canceling. You can't get to the end and can't get to the finish line. You're just as intelligent as somebody else. You're just as intelligent as people who have multiple degrees. Because your emotions are unchecked. Your anger is unchecked. It's delayed. It's not denied. It's just delayed. Because you got to get everything raining on it. Clear the outside distractions and realize, I'm going to do this school thing. I'm going to do this business thing. I'm going to do this job thing. But it's going to have to be with some discipline, with some getting myself under control. And then finally, I said the mothers in Zion or somebody, but find somebody you trust or somebody you're going to pay. Find somebody you trust or find somebody you're going to pay. Because otherwise, you will keep falling into that same vicious cycle and trap over and over and over again. And it's not just a mistake. It might not, I failed one time. It becomes a lifestyle. And over time, especially people that are extremely gifted and talented, you'll start looking to the left and right and realize, I am not where I'm supposed to be. This is not what God showed me. My whole life transferred one time when I looked to my left and right, and it really wasn't at somebody else. I just looked at myself. I looked at the woman in the mirror and said, Adam, what you doing down here? What you doing right here? This is not what you're supposed to be. This is not what God showed you. This is not what you went to school for. This is not it. And then you have to move and make changes. Emotional checkup. Where are you? Adam, John, James, Matthew, Shaquita, Amy, Emily, Janet, Roberta. Where are you? It's the year in review. Sometimes you have to have an emotional checkup. What part did I play? What could I have done differently? Find someone you trust or someone you pay. I hope that helps you today. I hope that helps you along your way, because he knows exactly how you feel. But you got to make sure that you find someone you trust and get your emotions in check so you can move on to purpose and on to destiny. I hope that helps you today. Coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is Live Your Best Life. That's what I'm desiring for you. That's what I'm praying for you. That's what I do every single week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com. Help you find ways, information, people, places, and resources to help you live your best life. And then after that, Spike Davis at 11 a.m., a Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for laughs, music, and more. Where? Right there on envision-radio.com. And then on Tuesdays, the Book Business Boss show is Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com. The replay is at the Book Business Boss Podcast.com. So coming up on December 17th and 18th, the Black Women Expo, and in Atlanta, Georgia at the Georgia International Convention Center. Super excited to be there. We're at booth 516. Over my left shoulder are the other two authors that will be at the booth 516 with me, Miss Marlene DeRosso and Dr. Vernette Nettles. And I am super excited. Come one, come all. Get your ticket at bwenext.com. December 17th, meet us at the Black Women Expo in Atlanta, Georgia, booth 516. If you are interested in writing a book or having a conversation with me, or taking your book to the next level, you need help with publishing, you're have an idea for a book, but you need to think about, what do I do next? I've got some things written down. I need an illustrator. I need an editor. Whatever that looks like for you, let's have a conversation. Talk with Royston.com and schedule a conversation with me. And I'll hopefully you'll be glad that you did. So go to talkwithroyston.com for all other links and online stores. The Black Friday specials are still in full effect all the way to December 31st. So even though I've already done the 12 days to Black Friday, they're still up in the online store. So go to JuliaRoystonStore.com. All of my links, all of my online stores are at JuliaAKRoyston.com. That's JuliaAKRoyston.com. I'm Dr. Julia Royston, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, be a book business boss, and live your best life. You be blessed and have an awesome day.